Hey everybody, welcome back. We are talking about the follow-up and working on sphere of influence. The last video we talked about how to create our sphere of influence. Now that we have our list, you had mailed out your letter by using broker, I think it was Breakthrough Broker to get your letters. Finding that right letter that just worked for you, getting that out to your spheres. You sent it out. It's been about 3 days now, and now it's time to do your follow-up on those letters. So keep in mind, the letter is not what generates you the business. The follow-up, the asking questions, engaging with your friends and family, asking for the business, that's where it comes from. The letter just kind of does an introduction. Anytime something happens, hey, I just closed an escrow, I can do the same. You're sending a letter out. That's the idea with letters. But now you got to follow up. So with the follow-up, you need to call them. There's no way around it. You got to pick up the phone. You got to call them. If you don't have their phone number, you need to track it down. So if you don't have someone's phone number, you can always go to whitepages.com. You can reverse search their address. You can reverse search their name. Then you need to take that number and go to the National Do Not Call List registry and just make sure that they're not listed on the Do Not Call registry. You call them. You need to first ask them, are you a renter or do you own your home? If they're a renter, then you take them down the direction of, great, why haven't you purchased yet? Why aren't you a homeowner? And typically the answer is going to be finances. It's so expensive to buy. Then you can take them down the avenue of, well, tell you what, why don't we sit down and maybe we can create an action plan. So if it was affordable for you, would you want to buy? And typically 9 times out of the 10, it's always oh yeah, I'd love to be a homeowner. I just can't afford it, or I can't figure out, or my credit's bad, or my work experience isn't there yet. Once you get that out that, yes, I want to be a homeowner one day, then what you're doing is you're setting up an action plan for them. You're saying, hey, why don't we meet? And that way we can go through your finances. We can create an action plan. We can figure out how to get you from A to B. It might take you 6 months, it might take you 2 years, but that's what I'm here for. I'm here to offer that service to help you go through the hurdles and get everything in line so you can purchase. So it all comes down to preparation. And that's how you're talking to your client, your buyer is, let's set up a time. You're asking for the business. And the business for someone who's not an owner is preparing them to become an owner. That's your service. So you're sitting down with them, and now we'll talk about how we follow through and what sort of things. That'll be another video. But ultimately, your goal is to set an appointment. Get the appointment with the person. Start talking to them on the phone, asking them about their finances, their credit. Get down to the meat of it, of where they're at in life and where they need to be by talking to your lender. And then setting up a conference call or an appointment with your lender to go over exactly what they can do, get their credit ran, and what they can do to be able to become a purchaser. That's for a tenant. That's for a renter. With that tenant, the next step also, once you get them to engage with you and say, yes, I want to be a buyer, you're going to go back to your system and either on the MLS or Commissions Inc. or whatever CRM that you're using, it needs to have an auto drip campaign, which means they're a first-time home buyer. They're looking in the 5 cities. They're looking from 200 to 300,000, and they're looking for a 3-bedroom. It pulls up a list of properties. Every time a property comes on the market in that criteria, you want it to automatically email that person. That will allow you to engage them later on in life. Every time an email goes out, you're calling them and saying, hey, I just sent you a property. Did you have a chance to look at it? So ultimately, every single person on your sphere of influence list needs to get an auto campaign. And we can talk about that in another video, but reference a drip campaign for properties. All right. Tenants are all taken care of. You got them on a drip campaign. You got them on an action plan. That's a farm. You've now farmed your person. There might be 6 months out, 3 months out, a year out, but they're on a farm now. You know where their timeline lies. Now we're talking with homeowners. You call up a friend and they're like, I'm a homeowner. I have no intention of selling. Hey, no problem. Can you think of anybody that does? Can you think of anybody that would want my service? Would you like to know how much equity is sitting in your property? Would you like me to do a market analysis for you so I can tell you free service, so I can tell you what the value of your home could potentially be if you did ever decide to sell? Maybe you want to refinance. Maybe you want to pull money out to be able to put that backyard in. It's not always about the sale, but let me be a service for you. Let me help you get those numbers together so you can make an educated decision. Wouldn't you like to know if you have a new flood of new homeowners in the neighborhood? Wouldn't you like to know if the same consistent homeowners have been there for the last 15 years. So everybody's in the same wheelhouse, in the same bucket of they're sitting on 50% of equity. Wouldn't you like to know what the average mortgage is in the neighborhood, or the average days on market on how long? Once you get that market analysis out to the client, say they do go, you know what, I would like a market analysis. I would like to know what's going on in my neighborhood. You're going to go back to your system. You're going to create in your CRM, your customer retention database. You're going to create an auto drip campaign for that person as well. You might make it less aggressive, where maybe one email a week goes out to them with a laundry list of all the properties that came on the market. You just want to stay top of mind, that ultimately when they do make a decision in real estate, they're wanting to do something. Boom, an email comes in and there's your face staring at them like, hey, I've been doing this for a year, sending you properties of what's been going on in your neighborhood. That's called being top of mind. It's hitting them right at the right time. Now, if you're a little self-conscious about calling your friends and family, Google Scripts to talk to Sphere of Influence, read through them. Google Tom Ferry, Google Brian Buffini. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter as long as you have a list of questions that you want to get a point. Your mindset needs to be appointment. You need to be setting appointments. If you're not setting appointments, you need to adjust the way that you're talking to people. And if you're doing this and you're not getting the appointment set, then you need to go back to the training wheels. You need to pull up the scripts and practice them in the mirror. It doesn't matter what scripts you're using, but if you've tried them multiple times and it's not getting the results, change it up. Start asking different. But when you make that phone call, be prepared. So that's what I have for you today. I challenge everybody, make a list, send at least 50 letters out. 200 this week alone, send 50 letters out, make 50 phone calls, follow up with your Sphere, set 10 appointments. That's the challenge of the week. So keep an eye out for the next video. We'll be talking about was the customer retention database and creating a drip campaign for properties. Keep an eye out for that video. That'll be the next how-to of what we'll be doing in the future. Again, if you're not following us, click on the link below, share this information, invite people to contract training. Let's be the best darn agents out there, and let's go get an escrow.